What's going on, everybody? This is Chris Classic dropping a car vlog. Just got off of work. Hope you guys having a wonderful day. Nobody tells you that God loves you, Christ loves you, and I love you as well. I'm praying for you guys. Hope you guys are praying for me. Make sure you subscribe to Take It Home podcast, where I talk about professional wrestling topics. And I put up my matches as Classic Out for a professional wrestler of 13 years. Make sure you also subscribe to C3 Ultimate Wrestling. What's going on, Raphael? God bless you. Make sure you also subscribe to C3 Ultimate Wrestling. That is me and my wife's professional wrestling company. A few days away, Wednesday, Fright Night. We're going to be in Dalton, Illinois. Free show, limited seating. So anybody's in the Dalton area want tickets, free tickets, let me know. Free seating. Also, February 21st, 2026, Big Business, B-I-G Business, named after the C3 Ultimate Wrestling Champion, Joseph Iver Credit. Tickets will be on sale soon. More details will come for that show, so make sure you subscribe to both. You can also watch the last show in its entirety, the 11th hour, which happened August 30th at Harold's Private Venue in Dyer, Indiana, so make sure. I wanted to talk about Jade Cargill, and I wanted to talk about Jey Uso, and I wanted to talk about how similar they are currently in WWE with certain things that they have done, right? With Jade, a lot of people are saying she's still green, she's still not ready, she's still messing up, she still should do this and stuff like that. And to this point, I agree. I do love Jade Cargill. I love her. I think she's very good at what she's doing. I think she can improve more. And I don't think that's not a disrespectful critique. I don't think that's disrespectful. Sometimes you can be fans of a wrestler and then you do wish that they could work on something. And I think Jade is definitely one of the ones, not only just for me, but for other people as well. Some people think her going to NXT would help. Some people think that more time in the Performance Center would help. I think it all could help possibly. I think with NXT it's a little different though, because NXT is like its own brand in itself within WWE. But it's a smaller venue, and maybe it'll help her get better. I think the only way Jade gets better is if she wants to get better at this point. And she's not the worst. She has improved. I think she showed that she can sell, especially in WWE. I do think she's lost way more than she should have. I'm not saying she should have been Goldberg or anything like that and have an undefeated streak or nothing. I do think they could have projected her a little bit more as a powerhouse. Like, besides picking up Nia Jackson, Piper Niven, she should be ragdolling the other women that are way smaller. I do think that. But, with the situation that happened last week with her being cut open and certain things and people messing up, sometimes some people are blaming most of it on Nia and Jade. They're like, oh, no, Nia should have been right here. Jade should have been right there. Blah, 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 blah. Now, as a person that is saying Jade Cargill, and I do think that they could still untap potential with her, but that's up to her and how they predict it. I do think she does need work. May not be a lot of work, but she needs some work. I think she should have started NXT. I mean, they promoted her as a superstar and a megastar. And she has the charisma to be that. She can definitely be that. We all see the potential in her, but what I don't want to do is I don't want to be blinded by the potential. And that goes into Jey Uso shortly. I promise you that does. What's going on, Fall 150? That goes into Jey Uso, I promise you. Because we see what he can do, right? Jay has wrestled for only 4 years. Be 5 in like March or something. She's only wrestled for 4 years. She's made waves when she was in AEW with the TBS Championship. They put a cap on her with that TBS Championship. She showed up to WWE. People were excited and stuff like that. People already saying dream match, dream match, dream match. Her and Bianca, her and Bianca, her and Bianca. WWE winded up just tagging them together, which I thought was the best thing to do at the time. And I thought they did great for the women's tag championships. Y'all know how I feel about the championships. Y'all know how I feel about the women's tag team championships. But still. So we're going with that. So a lot of people are like, okay, well, she's in the big leagues now, so things have to matter. She has to step things up. And to be honest, she has. But she still needs some work. She's still green. Sometimes it takes people years to get it. Honestly, as a wrestler, sometimes it'll take people months. Heck, it can take some people days to understand the logistics of wrestling and how it works and stuff. You know, sometimes it takes people years and even decades, right? We're talking about wrestling fall. So some people are very, very critical on Jade. But I also, my scope of things, I put Jey Uso in the same thing. Now, Jey is 40, and he's been wrestling for about 18 years. And he's messing up, but he's messing up with stuff he shouldn't be messing up on. Like, to me, it's a little crazy. Somebody showed me, well, I watched a clip of what happened between the Usos and the Vision. Now, I'm going to sit here and say this. I understand why people like the Usos and stuff like that. I'm a fan and all that, but at the same time, we gonna sit here and say like their wrestling's been solid. No, I've talked about the Super Kick Party as much as I've talked about it with the Young Bucks. Like I've said, I've called people hypocritical if you say, oh, all the Young Bucks do is super kicks, and then you watch the Usos and then be like, no, theirs is different. No, it's the same. I've been very critical about it. They've had great matches, especially with the New Day. They've had some good matches. They had great matches, but most of the time, especially when they both had long hair, outside of them being twins, they had no different moveset. So even with Sidebar Jimmy, not saying Sidebar Jimmy, but you get what I mean, there's a lot of super kicks, and a lot of people brought that up the last show they was on. So I'm thinking about the spots with Jade. They did a spot where Bronson was holding Jade to get set up for a spear. He had him lined up. All Jay had to do was just stand there. Braun Breaker goes off the ropes, and for some reason, Jey Uso just turned around. Like, I don't know if Jay was thinking about the cha-cha slide, the cha-cha real smooth. I don't know, slide to the left or slide to the right, because crisscross, like he did something, like all he had to do was stand there. All he had to do was stand there. And he turned around. He slid to the left. And Braun Breaker had to take it back. He had to take a spear back now, y'all, and did a clothesline. And you could tell that Braun Breaker was upset because that made him look stupid, because everybody knew that the spear was coming, but it didn't come. Pause no diddy. 5 years anyway, still. So he gave him a clothesline. And then they also showed like they had him up, Bronson had Jay up for the Bulldog. That, you know, that his father, Rick Steiner, used to do, Braun Breaker's father and stuff like that. And, you know, Jay kind of thudded. And I don't want to just say that was Jay's fault, but they're going to put it on Jay because of everything that's going on. Everybody's talked about Jay's cardio and stuff as well. They talked about, hey, man, he needs to improve on his cardio. Like, what's going on with stuff like that? By the time he's done eating, his breath is retreating. Like, people have looked at that stuff. The dive out spots, some of the stuff, the chair shot that he hit somebody, he the one that wanted to bleed. Like, a lot of people, like, we've talked about this, but we don't see it. I say him and Jade are very similar at this point. I think there's room for improvement for both. And it doesn't matter that Jade has wrestled for only 4 years. He's wrestled for 18, and I've wrestled for 13. And I'm going to a point in my life where I am trying to go more to practices and stuff like that to like work on my craft and my presentation as a wrestler. It happens to the best of us, honestly. And I think that both of them are very, very similar. Jade is a little different because obviously he made it to the mountaintop as a heavyweight champion. But at the same time, they look like they're trying to mold him into possibly being the new tribal chief or doing something else. I just want him to be ready for it. I don't want to show ill will towards him and stuff like that. But you know, I know they say that like in that other show, WWE Real, Unreal, whatever it's called. They talk to him about some stuff, but hey, they honestly need to stand on their word when it comes to those kind of things. I do think that if you are going to elevate him to the spot that where people wanted him to when he won the World Heavyweight Championship the first time, this is now. Send him to NXT. Y'all are not going to do that because of the Roman rub and the family and stuff like that, but still, the man definitely needs to work on some stuff. Jade needs to work on some stuff too. I just don't understand how people be like, you know, honestly, there's a lot of people who you can be a fan of somebody and say they need to work on something. I love Shaq as a basketball player, but everybody knew he stopped taking the game seriously. Heck, he admits it. Doesn't mean nothing bad. It means you just want the best. Do I think Jade out the door? No, I don't think she's out the door and stuff like that. And maybe her getting cut open like she did is a wake-up call to being like, hey, you know what? I literally bled for this sport. I need to show people why I'm bleeding for this sport and stuff like that, honestly. And maybe that works. Jay just got to polish. He just has to polish a lot of his ring work and stuff and work on the cardio. Social media people are very, very vocal about certain things. Like, hey, you have to be this and you have to be that. So, like, if you mess up or if you can't breathe or if you mess up a spot, you mess up. For real, cha-cha. Yeah, man, the man was cha-cha real smooth. Like, and I wouldn't have seen it if this person didn't put that in a video. Like, why did he turn around like that? Like, to me, it's like, why did he turn? Like, it was no need. And I've seen similar spots like that before. I remember, because I be remembering stuff. I remember when The Undertaker and Roman Reigns, they went against each other at WrestleMania, a match nobody asked for. And that match was bad. And I remember that Roman would set up Undertaker to try to go for the spear. I don't know. I think Roman went off the ropes too many times. And then Undertaker wound up turning. And then it looked crappy. The spear didn't look good. Like, the match was just bad. The match was bad, y'all. I'm sorry. I mean, I can't sugarcoat it. That match was dumpster juice. People was already booing Roman because they knew that Roman was going to win, but it was just bad. So, yeah, it was crazy. Like, to me, spears can't, I ain't gonna lie, spears can't, people can get lost in spears, especially when somebody's going off the ropes, because sometimes people go off the ropes for momentum, right? Because I remember even, I Show Speed, when he was in the Royal Rumble, and then Ron started going off the ropes, and then, like, by the time Speed turned around, he was speared out of his shoes, and it was just like, it was kind of awkward almost. It was like, dang, like, I'm seeing, he ain't got time to brace for it, so I can understand that. But still, Bronson literally had him up, like he was holding Jay Uso by his facial cheeks, not the other cheeks. He had him. Cause no Diddy again. Oh yes, but still, he had him. So him turning around, I just don't know. But that's what I wanted to speak about a little bit. I do see, like, at this point, I put Jade and Jay Uso almost like in the same light as far as just needing some ring work. And like I said, once again, just because I think somebody needs some ring work, it doesn't mean that they suck or they're horrible or they should find something else to do. I just think they just need to work. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm just enjoying my day with my wife. About to do some things and hang out for our anniversary. Yeah, the 7th. So what's that? Is that Tuesday? Tuesday will be 12 years of being married. 12 years being married, 14 years together. I'm old, y'all, so looking forward to spending time with my baby. But I do hope you guys have a wonderful and blessed day. This is Chris Classic. Let's take it home.